Hello.
Hey,
How's it going?
how are you? Yeah, it's going good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Uh, yeah, not much. Not much in the past week. Feeling a little better. Been running a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done as much running. I joined Fitness SF, even though I have like gyms at work. Fitness SF has like a Salesforce Park location, so that's
Mm.
very easy to get to. So I can just it's like finally I mean the first year I was in San Francisco, I had like a gym in my apartment, but that also felt like too easy almost. So now
Mm.
I have to cross like one street, but it's only like a 3 minute like walk over to Salesforce Park, and the gym is fairly clean. They have machines, and I can go like early in the morning and late at night, and just throw on like shorts and a t-shirt and run over there with just my house keys, and then I'm once I'm in the gym, it's like I'm far enough away from my house that I can just concentrate, work out. So I've been doing more like I've been doing sit-ups and chin-ups, and yesterday night I went to like the Stairmaster, uh, and that's been it's nice having being able to rely on that kind of full body workout. But then it sort of means I don't have to run as much. But I want to run like every second day. But I've been
Yeah.
relying more on those other workouts. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That. I feel like yeah. One of the reasons I've been gravitating towards running more recently is I've been doing just like weights, but I just from in my room, and it's like I get just distracted so easily, and
Right.
it's just not the same level of like endorphins as getting outside and getting the aerobic uh, stuff. So yeah, it's just like less fun.
It's funny. Yeah, like in terms of getting like a full workout. Yeah, running outside is very good. But yeah, being in like a gym with, especially if I like don't have my earphones or something, and I'm just I would be bored otherwise. I end up doing like a lot of exercises and getting like a good like sweat on. But yesterday
Mm-hmm.
night it was funny. I find if I want to sweat the most that I ever sweat, if I go on like a stationary exercise bike, or it turns out like yesterday I was on the Stairmaster, and like right away within like 10 steps I start like dripping sweat. And it was
Mm.
funny that like I was walking on the Stairmaster, and like I was so my body like my head was like moving from side to side, and like drips of sweat were like falling off, and they were like hitting in the same place on the stairs,
Mm.
like making like a very distinct pattern where like the
They
left
do.
and the right of each, like by the end the left and the right of each stair had uh like a spray pattern of like sweat drops, and like nothing in the middle, but like uh so I took like the cloth at the end and tried to like actually clean the stairs also, because they're like slippery at the end. uh
That's funny.
it was like a funny. It's weird though. It's like doing like an aerobic exercise, but having no wind really builds up like sweat very quickly, I find. But more
Mm.
so, like if I do chin ups or something,
Yeah.
it's not like that. It's like these like leg based exercises that are stationary.
Yeah. Yeah. I never how no factors really matter for me. Everybody in my family just like sweats like amazingly a lot. So I'll like yeah, I do like sometimes like little dance workouts with my partner, just like fun, uh, in our apartment, and it's like she's like totally, will be not sweating even a little bit, and I'll just be like drenched and like it's like yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like somewhat of an endurance person, but yeah, uh, yeah, I always have to be conscious of that. Yeah.
Yo, yeah, I'm gonna do a K-pop dance class tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Oh, that's fun. Sounds very
Yeah, it was
fun.
just randomly. Yeah. Yeah, work has different stuff like that. So I finally at first I was worried about K-pop dance because I felt like I had a vision of like the certain audience that would attract, and it'd be like friend groups, and I didn't want to be like an
Mhm.
intruder in that space where like I would just sort of show up and be like the odd one out that's not very connected to like that community. But in this
Yeah.
case I saw This one still had like 15 spots left, like the day before it happened. So I felt like at least I'm not taking a spot from like someone who's excited for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because yeah, for me, it sort of connects back to like I want to have more opportunities to dance in different ways because I want to, like I think I have good natural rhythm, but I want to get, I want to just investigate more ways of like training my body to like move with rhythm so that I have even more like perfect rhythm for applications in like music writing and stuff and understanding like musical beats and things.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, there's I don't go to dance classes like too often, but I briefly many years ago um did a fair number at ODC. I don't know what it stands for, but it's like a it's a dance place in the Mission that just has a lot of different classes, and in particular, it was like Cuban Reda salsa, um, and that was really fun. I would recommend. um, yeah, I'd be down to go sometime again.
Yeah.
I've taken that beginner class probably like 6 times now, but it's always fun.
Yeah, I went to a place in the Mission that was called like Dance Your Prayers, and it was this organization called like Five Rhythms, and
Hmm.
yeah, it was like a DJ that did five different sets, five different rhythms, and you could just kind of freely dance in the space as you wanted or move however you wanted, uh,
Cool.
and that was kind of fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I find with certain things I like if I show up and I'm not like dance, I think I'm not naturally good at, and so I'll like show up and the instructor like wants me to do a specific thing and I can't do it, and it like frustrates me because often
Yeah.
in those times I want to just like it's like just put on music and I'll dance good naturally in like no form or anything, and I'll it'll be bad at first, but I'll like slowly figure it out and then tell me like the move, and then I'll attempt the move and then go try some other stuff for a while, and that's sort of that's how I know that I want to learn. But then I find that it can be not fun where I'll like show up for a class and fail to do like all the moves and then just leave, and it's like
Mhm.
when am I going to get the opportunity to dance for like 6 hours in a row, which I need to do to like help my body understand like this movement. Like it's not gonna, it sort of feels like it's
Yeah.
another frustrating thing is like language learning. Like, it's like I need to just go to a place where they speak the language and just be completely lost for like 2 weeks. And that's how I'll learn language. But I never, it's like you never really get that opportunity. So it's always just like failing to remember 5 words at a time for like years and just feeling like it's like,
Yeah, totally.
can't we just like, yeah, it's just like they gotta like, for me, it's like it needs to be like revved up. Like there needs to be something like harder to really just fully engage me and distract me so that I can like be lost in it. But when it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like kind of attempt this one move without, any warm up or anything. It can be like, it just triggers my sense of like, it's like, no, this isn't it. Like, this is cool and interesting, but it's not like tapping into my endorphins in a way that's like, that it's close to. Like, that's what it's frustrating is when it's like, this could, this K-pop dance thing, I'm sure it could be like really like it could be life changing in some way, but it's not going to be. It's just going to be like a regular like people are naturally better than me, and then I fail at stuff, and then sometime in the future, maybe if I get an opportunity to like dance somewhere, I'll lean back on what I saw in this class or something. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Yeah, I feel always a little bit jealous. I feel like there's for people that growing up went to even just like some dance classes, I feel like are just like miles ahead of uh everybody else when learning a new dance. It's just like there's yeah, I think it's a little difficult to pick up naturally, but um yeah, I feel that. I went
Mhm.
to I have this memory of going to like one class with my partner, and she's good, just like naturally. But it was this hip hop class, and like it was, I think almost everybody else there was like femme presenting, um, except me, and seemingly like half the people were also like professional dancers. Um, so like and it was we showed up like 5 minutes late, and then I like just uh couldn't catch up. It was like way too fast and difficult, and yeah, it was just like I was like, well, it's fine. But then like at the very end, they were like, okay, we're gonna like have everybody split up into groups and like do the dance and record it and like put it on our Instagram and stuff. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, like I don't know any of this. Like, so I just like stood in the far corner where I thought I might be out of frame, or they could, easily crop me out. um, and then yeah, in the little I did know, like when they were like, okay, that next group, and then it just exited my brain, and then they were like, all right, everybody do it again, and I was like, I truly don't remember. Like I just have to sit out now because it's like too embarrassing.
Yeah, it's funny with stuff like the parallel to it, like another situation, like in chess, for example. Like obviously, if a novice walks into like a masterful chess class, they're not going to remember even what the pieces do or move or anything, and like it would be very apparent. It's like no one would expect them to. But then in dance, it's just like there's like this assumption of like, well, it's just moving. Like so, it's like they don't. The people that are just naturally good at dance, like can't. They're like, well, you can talk, can't you? It's like, and you can say it. I can tell you a sentence. You can remember. Like, so it's like so natural to them that they're just like, well, just move in this way. Like, how hard is that or something? And it's like, no, this is not like a language that I speak, and the
Yeah,
basic components are. But it's like, yeah, it's like they don't. Yeah, it's like one of those spaces where, uh, it's hard. It's like how like mental illness is like invisible, so people don't. You can't like have a mental injury as obvious.
hmm
Uh,
yeah,
that's what I feel like. Where it's certain things are just like people don't understand if you're missing like a basic skill that they've never. Yeah, like they're in a world where it's a very common thing or something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that's true. Yeah, it does show up
Yeah.
in dance a little, and sometimes I think, or like, yeah, there's not enough stratification of like, where it's like, I feel like some classes are like, oh, it's beginner friendly, but it's like not, like it's yeah,
Yeah.
not to my level of beginner at least.
Yeah, I remember one time there was like an intro to drawing class that I was like in university in Canada, and it was just some place downtown, and I signed up for this like intro to drawing class, and they're like, okay, so the first session, like you need to have all this like equipment that you can just like purchase at like a local art store, and it was like 10 different things, and they're like, and we're going to have like a nude model in the class that you'll sketch, and I was like, no way, like
Yeah.
this is like way like that's incredibly uncomfortable and awkward, and I don't know what any of these like items are, and I don't
Yeah.
like feel like I want to go to the store and buy them all and then show up and like there's a naked person there like that. You need to like prepare me for that, like, and I was like, what are you talking about, beginner class? Like this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for.
But I can see how like people would not. It makes me realize that there's like basic stuff that like that's why I always feel like when I create some kind of tutorial or something, I'm very tempted to like make no assumptions and just like from the
Yeah.
start, like yeah, like explicitly state like this is a tutorial, like because people, it's like a lot of people won't realize like what this is supposed to be or whatever, and then you tell them like this is an application on a computer that you use to do a thing, and I feel like that scoops up like hopefully most people, like introing them to like even what the concept is. uh,
hmm
but then
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's limiting. It's interesting because it's like limiting in a way, because if you start there you can't go to the advanced level in one session. But then I feel a little bit like my interest is getting as many people as possible from zero to something. and then I don't
Mm.
care what they do. Like once they sort of know the space, they can find their own way. But like scooping up people that have no entry vector and just giving them like the basic like orientation and the safety stuff, like how like in dance especially, it's like I wish we could like walk in there and from this they would figure out a way to like take us from like everyone's here, everyone's feeling awkward, they don't want to move, so let's just start walking in a circle clockwise, and like from right away, and then they play some music and they're like, there's no shame in this space, like there's no like, we're all coming with our own experience and we don't know, and uh like I wish they
Yeah.
would take it from there, where like then you just feel this smooth transition into like okay, like I'm ready to like attempt my first move and be really bad at it, but like maybe that's the point. Maybe they instruct everyone start moving really awkwardly and like jerking around and flailing, like just so that we've gotten that out of the way. Now we do the first very easy move and look how easy that is, and like once you get a win, like make sure everyone has like an initial win, and then they feel like okay, build on that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like I have very little knowledge about it, but my guess is that like dance classes for kids like often do stuff like that, like just like
Mhm.
good pedagogy of like getting everybody uh, to just like feel comfortable first, and then at a certain age, it's just like that. Yeah, I don't really know
Yeah,
if those types of classes exist.
yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, like people break that ice some point, like if they've had any sort of dance class at any point, they've broken that initial ice of like moving in rhythm in public. But then some people haven't. Like I feel like I haven't. uh I feel like a little bit uncomfortable like trying to do a dance move in a public space.
Yeah.
And so as an adult, yeah, it's like people sort of assume at some point you'll have built like self-confidence or something, but then it's like maybe I haven't yet in this particular activity. It's like I don't know if I have or
Yeah.
not. And so it's like I'm like going there, but now I feel more like, having done a little bit of improv and stuff, I feel more confident like just going there, and I'm sort of aware of like my limits. And so now I
Mm.
feel like I'm in a position where yeah, I can just go into an awkward space and like test, and then walk away with knowledge of like how what what worked in terms of making me feel good and not good or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Is it so improv in terms uh like improv acting classes? I don't know if you
Yeah, I was
mentioned that.
doing yeah, every Thursday, and the final, it's been about like 4 or 5 classes for 2 hours every Thursday afternoon, and the final one is next Thursday. And it's
Oh,
been like
cool.
improv 101. Yeah, so we started with like basic warm-ups, like passing, like we'd pass like an invisible ball around and make eye contact and stuff, and then we would, at one point I asked if there was like warm-ups related to rhyming. And so we actually, for one class, we did like rhyming. Like one person says a word, the other person rhymes. It goes around in a circle. So I thought that was fun because it was closer to like my vision of like, I want these lessons to make me better at like real time freestyling, like rap almost.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of fun. And then yeah, then we did scenes in different class. Like yeah, each class will, the second half of the class is kind of like scenes. They just prompt us with something, and go we do scenes with 2 people or 3 people.
That's really cool. Do you feel like it pushed
Mhm.
your like comfort zone or was more in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, I learned. I feel I learned that like that I don't. I think I don't enjoy like visually displaying emotion, and certainly like I would not want to like pretend visually that I'm sad, like in a scene. Like
Mm.
that feels uncomfortable in a space. Also, maybe like making like weird noises that convey like different emotions that I'm not expecting, like because I don't have like good control of my voice. So then, pretty much but I'm very comfortable like in a scene acting in my own monotone voice and like just like not making eye contact, not showing visual emotion, but like inventing lots of like random things that happen in the scene or like furthering the scene or responding.
Mm.
That part I like a lot. So yeah, it's basically like I really enjoy the real time like story creation, but then I don't care or necessarily want to be better at like visual body acting or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool.
but then that's what's interesting about like dance. It's sort of like, but I do like dance and like moving to music. So there's kind of like approaching, it's like I'm sort of, yeah, it's sort of, I know that I'm not very like, good socially or like in person socially. I feel like I have never really built that up. So it's interesting to explicitly like do improv and be in different scenes and like sort of I feel like I have good control of building any story I want to or adding to my character how I want to. And so I always like build the story and add to my character in ways that I'm like comfortable with. And so I have like control there. And then I've identified these like places that I don't really want to go. But then it's also interesting to like find different opportunities to like dance. So then I am like moving my body to music and I'm doing improv, but putting the two together, I'm uncertain about. Like I don't want to be like visually acting in a scene so much.
Mm.
I feel like that's less. It's like less interesting and less uh, feels like more awkward to me or something. But then maybe, yeah, I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I just need to like approach these things from different angles. Then I can have enough comfort where I sort of know like the range that I need to stay inside of to feel very comfortable, and then also have like enough skill to like keep myself in that range.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I guess a good example is like in an improv scene, if my character was like suddenly supposed to dance, I would feel like that's where I'm losing control. Like I don't know how to dance and I'm going to dance in a way that's like making me feel a bit silly and not meeting my standard for like how I would envision myself, like the standard that I would want to dance at to like be good or something. So then that would be, so either then it's like you got to come up with like a reason why your character can't dance or something, or I have to have like one very subtle dance that I can do that like counts as dancing that I have like control over where I know I can like solidly do it to like check the box of like, yeah, my character's dancing right now and no one's asking questions about why it's so weird or anything like that. It's just like he is, and then I move past it. But yeah,
Yeah.
if I've like never danced, then it's like an unknown, yeah, it's like an unknown space where I like lose control, and then it becomes, yeah, it becomes like less fun because you sort of feel like, well, I haven't trained for this, so it's just like stumbling, and that's frustrating. I'd rather like have some kind of rhythm going or something.
Right. Yeah. I would find that extremely challenging. Like doing improv with people I don't know, and then being like, well, the social expectation is to like sort of always go along with whatever's being suggested, I guess. And then
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like that would be hard. I don't know. I don't think I could do that. But
Yeah, I feel like I find these little secrets where like it's almost like I'm excited to go into a scene and people will place expectations like on me and on my character. And then like I'm pretty confident that I can quickly find a way to like agree and support with whatever they're doing, but change it like just a little bit so that like I'm still like in control or something like that.
mm,
Uh like some of the awkward
yeah.
things are like there'll be like two people in a scene and the suggestion will like start that like both of you are in a relationship, and then it's like
Mm,
it's like I don't want to act as though this is like my love partner or my love interest and like do all the conventional things for that. So then it sort of becomes like I'm very confident I can get out of this somehow, where like just start asking questions about like, well, it's clear we're in love, but that's only because of the estate that like your father owns, obviously, and like just throw something
mhm,
out there like that, and then all of a sudden it's like this is like of course we pretend like inside the scene the lore is like we pretend we're in love, of course, and that's challenging for us because like I'm not very good at pretending, but like the logical reason why we're in this relationship is for some other like business reason or something, or like or
Uh,
undercover or something like that. And so then it's like, then it becomes almost like a challenge of like, because people they don't really know what you're uncomfortable with, but then like, but if I see it going in that direction, it's like it's sort of like you got to like keep treading water to like keep your head above water, like so you don't, then it's like it's more of like a fun. It becomes like yeah, like I know yeah, I'm like comfortable what parts of me I got to avoid, and then I know that I have certain things available to like avoid those things.
yeah,
But
that is
then
fun.
yeah, but
Like
for yeah,
use your storytelling skills to sort of steer it
yeah,
in directions where your like acting skills can uh, feel good.
yeah. Yeah, and actually there's like an improv like second level that it didn't have enough students, so it won't run, but I was debating, like I was talking to the teacher after the class one day in like the 101 level, and I was telling her like, you know, like based on what she said about the second level, they train you to like visually act more and like show emotion when acting. And so I was sort of saying like I'm not really like I want to take the class, but I don't want to be essentially the position I don't want to be in is like everyone gets into groups of two and then you practice one of you showing the sad emotion and then the other one also like reacting to that sadness and comforting them. And it's like that's immediately like something I would not like. I don't want to make my face look sad and I don't want
Yeah,
to see someone else that's pretending to be sad. And so then it would essentially be like all of a sudden I would be like, well, I can't do this activity. So, but I'm comfortable like not doing it, but that means whoever's my partner like loses out. And then I feel bad for like, oh, I'm here and I knew this would happen. I don't want to be here. And now I've let someone else down because they don't get to practice because I'm not like willing to like go there. Uh, so
yeah,
then, and then, yeah, and then it's sort of like, I can just immediately say like, oh, like, I'm known as like the most emotive person in the world. I'm famous, but today, like, I woke up with my face being paralyzed. So all I can do is like, like, whatever, and like invent that character. But then if it's sort of like, you can't invent the character if they're like, oh, that's good imagination, but we're practicing like facial emotions now. So you have to do it. And it's like, and then you have to have that conversation like in the moment of like, well, I don't feel comfortable with that. And then it's like you're trying to like can keep the mood happy, but like let them know like this is something I'm not going to do or whatever.
yeah.
Uh, but then
That's
a very
seriously.
fascinating thing is like the thing is as soon as I like if I have that conversation with the teacher where they're like they understand and they're like, oh yeah, you could step aside or we can point that out or we can like work around it. As soon as they say like as soon as I know I have avenues to get out of it, then maybe I do feel comfortable like showing like visual emotion, knowing that like it's been said that it's not comfortable for me and I don't want to do it, but then like I'll do it anyway. But as long as I know like the other people appreciate like the difficulty that it is, like not take it for granted that I'm like straining myself or something. So that's an
Yeah,
interesting thing. It's like
yeah,
you speak it, like speaking it makes it less intimidating. So then it's like, what was the point of saying it if we're gonna do it anyway? But then it's like, oh no, it needs to be like said out there to then feel like a space where I could do it or something.
yeah, yeah. That makes total sense. It's like the whole thing with like safe spaces or like the idea where it's like I don't know. I feel like it gets like ridiculed a little bit as like oh like people just like don't want to like challenge themselves, but it's like almost the opposite. It's like you like make it feel like comfortable so that people can like know they can like challenge themselves in the space, like and grow while
Mm.
having like the fallback of like okay if it's like something's
Yeah.
too much in the moment then like it won't be like I can still be here and it won't be uh I don't know frowned upon. Yeah.
Yeah, that it's reminding me once again of like Nathan Fielder's stuff where there was like a whole episode that makes this point that if you just tell like if you tell someone they're acting, then it gives them permission to like do stuff that they never would do in real life, even if
Hmm.
even if you tell them like act out a scene that is literally like happening in your life.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they're like better, they're more comfortable, they're confident even if they're acting as themselves in a situation that they were not comfortable with in their regular life.
Right. Yeah, the pilot with the
Mm.
kiss. It's like, yeah, so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
like an interesting like concept. Like if you're going into like a nerve-wracking situation, then like in your own mind, it's like, while I'm in this space, I'm a character of my like I'm a different character that is exactly like me, but with this one difference. And
uh-huh.
therefore anything that happens in the space is attributed to like that character. And then when I leave the space, like I get to be, it's not like whatever happened in there is not on me or whatever, is almost
Yeah.
like a interesting like mental defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that stuff like it's sort of like mind shifts or like you said like approaching things from different angles. Like I had a, a weird kind of uh I don't know, like a check-in where with myself where I was uh like hanging out with this group of people that I'm sort of like connected to like through my partner. So like they're not really my friends, but like
Mm.
a couple of them are her friends. So I don't really see them very often. But I remembered like I don't know 8 years ago or something. I would like sometimes go to these like dinner parties with like a bunch of them and feeling like quite awkward, like
Mm.
just like I don't remember exactly why, but I just felt like I just could not resonate with like almost anybody there, and I just felt very awkward in the space to where I was like, I don't know if I want to go to these anymore, and like yeah, none of them were like mean or anything. It was just like I felt like the odd one out,
Mm.
and and it's like yeah I don't know I guess I feel that in some spaces and not in others. But then like I had a more recently I like was hanging out with like all those same people again and I was just like why would I ever have felt that way? I was like now I don't care at all. Like I wasn't like I don't know. Like I was just like okay, like that's really interesting. Like what has happened in my life where I just like don't feel any of this like social anxiety and kind of it's like hard for me to even remember like why I would have. And it's like they weren't like I don't think they were really different. It was just like I don't know, maybe just like enough time pass and just like enough happens in your life as you
Mm.
get older, you just like
Yeah.
can stop caring about certain things. I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting. I feel like I can't picture exactly when, but yeah, that like resonates with me. I feel yeah, like it sort of felt like at some period of my life, maybe around like high school or something, like I would be like at dinner parties with people or some parallel thing, like just different parties that I felt like I had to go to the party. Like, yeah, it wasn't, yeah, I mean, in the military and stuff, there was like parties where it was like, it's considered like a work function. So like you have to be there and you have to like go on leave if you don't want to go to the party or something like that almost.
Mm.
Uh, and so then you'd like show up, you often like wearing certain clothes and it definitely, yeah, it was like the mindset of like, people are telling me like I have to be here and I don't like these things and I, like I'll find someone to talk to or I won't or something or like I'll overhear people talking and just not really be into what they're talking about but have to like hang out there and like pay attention so they don't like catch on to me or something and sort of like yeah like a feeling of like people like you don't want people to discover that you don't want to be there because then they'll feel bad and you also can't leave because you have to be there so then it's just like you sort of yeah it's like it's like it isn't it's like these kind of relates to like the K-pop dance and stuff where it's like people are telling me this will be fun, sign up for this. Like no one's telling me this in the K-pop dance class case, but it's sort of like they're like yeah, some time ago for me, it's like why am I being offered this K-pop dance? Why are they saying this is beginner friendly. You should come to this improv because it's like they're inviting me there. But then I go there and I feel bad, and then they feel bad, and then it's like, well, why am I here if I feel bad? And then it's sort of like, oh, and then there's this moment where it's like I feel bad, but I don't want them to discover that I feel bad because then they'll feel bad for like tricking me almost into coming here when
Yeah.
they weren't tricking. Yeah.
Yeah. Creates a scene. In some
Yeah, I
sense.
guess now though now all this stuff kind of like I feel like I'm now, I guess I'm more comfortable. Like I think even if I was still in the military, I would just like explicitly not go to play like parties, and then they could deal with it like how they wanted or something almost. And I guess like part of it is like I left the military because of those kind of things, which was sort of like taking back my autonomy by just like exiting the organization so they didn't have like power to force me to go to parties. And then yeah, now then it feels like like now it's like I'm doing stuff on my own terms. Like if I go to a dinner party, it is because like now it's more like if I feel uncomfortable at a dinner party, I'm like very explicitly like doing it once in a while to get out of my comfort zone for that like explicit reason. So then any discomfort is like, this is probably good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your choice. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because maybe I wonder if like back in the day when you felt that way, like it felt more like you have a group of friends and this is what they do, and you want to be part of that group of friends. And there's like like it's like, will I find another group of friends? Or like there's this like you're like there and you're not immediately engaged by the conversation. So then it's like you feel like an imposter, but for the time being, it's like you don't have a lot of agency to like go find new groups of friends. So therefore you feel like it's almost like a feeling of like being kind of like, I have to be here and I have to be interested, but that's not who I am. So I have to like hide who I am. So I can't bring my full self. But then in fact, I guess now we realize like we can, like any space you can like tell people like who you are and they'll just like accommodate for it. Maybe as a teenager, we're not like as sure. Yeah, we're not like we don't even know who we are ourselves. So then we don't know how to bring our authentic self. We're still like shaping our authentic self, so we don't even know how to bring it to a place or something.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, it's like just like after certain life experiences, just like a little more confident in yourself or something. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Were you in the Canadian military for a while? I don't know if I knew this about you. Yeah. How was
whenever I graduated like high school in Canada, I went to like the Royal Military College in Canada, and that's like a program where basically like I went to that college and I did like an English literature like university degree over 4 years. But from the minute that you like go to that college, you're enrolled in like the full-time military, and you have the rank of like officer cadet while you're at the college. And during the college, like you're like making your bed, and during like the evenings and Wednesday morning, you do like military training, and on the weekends, there's training sometimes. And then during the summers while you're there at the college, you go on like the basic training, then your trade training and stuff. And when you graduate the college, you become like an officer, and you get posted like somewhere. So I was like posted to Edmonton for 4 years. And you go through like in the first 4 years, you sort of go through like sub lieutenant, and then captain. And then after you're a captain, like you get to be a captain just by number of years in, and then you have to like earn the promotion to the next level. But I like left after 4 years of like working in Edmonton, I guess.
Yeah. Is that like the amount of time where it's like you sort of have to
I was supposed to do even one more, like the original contract is like a 9-year contract, like 4 years of school and then 5 years of service. And you're getting like paid the whole time. Even in school, you're getting paid, and then you're getting like a proportional salary as you're working. But I had to like write a bunch of memos, and for like 2 years, I was trying to convince them to let me leave. And then finally, they said I could like pay some amount of money to like reimburse like the final, like they had calculated like since I did four of the 5 years, I owed them like 1/5 of my tuition or something. So then I just had to like pay that to leave a year early.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that like I don't know, tough like transitioning to software engineering after that, or were you sort of already, I don't know, what other
Yeah, I
paths
was
lie?
doing a lot of
Yeah.
because yeah, in the military, my big thing was like there was no like job for me in the military. I was just like sitting around a lot, and so
Mhm.
I would right from like the courses, like we had these Windows, like locked down Windows computers that we would have access to during like training courses, and I figured out like what kind of code could run on them. Like first I was working in Excel and then Visual Basic, and then uh, I found out that I could like write Java programs in Notepad and then compile them on a website and then
Oh,
run
that's
them.
tough.
And I could so I sort of like read some books on Java and learned like how to program in Java because I was so limited by that
Yeah.
setup. And then later, like when I had an office job in Edmonton later, I learned like I could write JavaScript and the browser would like run that. And then I started doing like programming puzzles and stuff, and I found like or maybe I found like different like this thing called Project Euler where
Yeah,
you're
I
solving all
used
these
to do
programming.
those. I did a
Yeah.
ton of those for a while. Yeah.
It was a funny situation where like I would have all these like Project Euler numbers like scribbled on a notepad, and I was like writing these programs like to solve these arbitrary like Project Euler, like the first 50 questions. And so I'd
Yeah.
have these notepads like full of like weird numbers, and people would like come to my desk and they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's like so smart. He's got all these math." Like they'd flip through, they'd be like, "Look at all these numbers in math. Like he's going crazy. He's doing math." And I was sitting there being like, "Guys, I have no job. Like I want to leave. There's no job for me here. I'm not contributing anything." Like it's like you think this is good, but I'm just like doing basic like the most basic programming that like
Yeah.
but then it started making me realize like, oh, like people in the military, like there's no one around me that knows like math. They don't know programming. And the more I learned about programming, I was like, this whole job is just like a script. Like every job in this whole building is like a script that runs, and nobody knows that, and there's no like knowledge. And so then I just was very like uncomfortable. I was sort of like, I gotta go somewhere where like there's people that know what programming is so that I can just move past that as like a
Uh-huh.
society or something.
Yeah, yeah. You found your more, yeah, like-minded people. It's funny.
But then I immediately realized like when I got into like big tech that it's very similar of like at the when you sit down at the desk to do the job, there's not like I kept feeling like there's no like job that meets me. Like it's again just at a desk in front of a computer trying to make work for myself. And I started
Mhm.
like drawing all these parallels like like the military like can keep you in like legally, you're not allowed to leave until they tell you to. And then but then like Microsoft or Google, it's sort of like you can leave whenever you want, but like society is designed to make you like how can you turn down the money because you may need that to pay
Right.
rent and everything. So it's sort of like the same like it's like I'm here, I'm like I'm in a position, people are like congratulating me on being smart and stuff, and I'm not really doing anything, and I feel like I don't have a lot of agency to like leave. Uh, so then I started feeling like, is this even different? Like it's just another, and I guess my problem with the military was like, there's nothing I can do in the military to like have the military make a profit because the military gets money from the government and it's based on how many people are in the military, and there's nothing the military can like do to like bring back shareholder like there's nothing you can't bring value to the user or something.
Mhm.
And then similarly in big tech, like there's almost no action I can do that relates in any way to like the product itself. So then
Mhm.
it's sort of like it's sort of just like sitting around, money comes from somewhere and there's no signal, and then you're just kind of feeling like shouldn't I be like bringing more value somewhere, but then society's kind of like pushing you like no, like just like yeah, society's message is just like pretend you're busy and everyone else will too,
Yeah.
and then that will maintain like this illusion or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Very alienating. Yeah. There's that one bit from Seinfeld or something where it's like like the trick is just to kind of to like be like stare at your computer and look vaguely angry or like everybody
Yeah.
thinks you're busy. It's like I don't know. I think that yeah for my brief time at Microsoft, it's like I definitely felt that um, at least on one of those teams.
Mhm.
Yeah, and to a different weird extent with the startup. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I feel like uh, maybe like there's something that draws both of us towards artistic pursuits in that sense of like just feeling. I feel like I have so much agency working on
Mhm.
games and storytelling and but it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm on the other side of uh, attempting to like make this a career, but also am like seeing that like I have never learned to like work without structure, and yeah,
Mhm.
it's like yeah, just quite challenging in terms of staying productive and also making enough money to survive. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a challenging spot to be in, and it's also interesting how like when I made my Astroneer song recently, like that kind of stuff is like, like I worked on that like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so that was like, it was like I made something that really seems to have some kind of value like in 3 days. And I feel
Yeah.
like I could be doing kind of stuff like that all the time, but it's like, it's not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to like do that stuff like full time and earn enough money to feel like secure and exist in society. So
Yeah.
then it's sort of always like, I can make the art, but then some like label or agency or like employer, I want them to be responsible for like figuring out how the money is made, and I'll just like generate the stuff. But then it becomes like more like the model that I'm in right now, where like Google is paying me and I do like something, and then in my spare time I make these things. So in some way, it's like they are paying me to exist, which allows me to like make the stuff, and that's a kind of a special. I guess it's a nice like model to be in, but it has its problems. But then then it's like if like everyone can make cool stuff and charge nothing for it, and that is pretty good. But then, when you want to like, there's an interesting. I feel like as people and like a society, we need to like get past assessing the value like that we feel we receive. Like we should pay money to the creator to create the stuff, and then just find the value that we want like in it almost.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm sort of thinking like people have to like if they want to run a Patreon and have like monthly subscribers, you have to like convince people that value is being created and that they're being like delivered value by the output of the content. But then it's fascinating, like could someone create a Patreon where like it's sort of like this Patreon is just I'm gonna sometimes do things and they're gonna be okay, and sometimes I'll be doing stuff but not publicly stating what it is, and people will like pay into the Patreon for the to purvey like to create the idea that like someone is out there like computing something, and the results are not going to look like a polished product, or their results are not going to be reported, but like it is enabling someone to live in a way that is fascinating, and nothing has to emerge that we can interpret from that. uh
Right.
like that's kind of
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
would
then
be
yeah, it's
cool.
like how yeah, the problem is like you could imagine, like you go on Patreon, you pick 5 people randomly, you pay $5 each a month, and then everyone does that. And so then some people's job gets to be receiving income and just doing stuff and maybe reporting it or maybe not. But then it's like how do you choose who those people are? It seems like you'd need some way to rank their output so you could decide who's the best at like existing in an artful way. But then also, you kind of don't want to constrain it like that. Like, you sort of want people to just be completely free and do stuff that doesn't look like anything at all. And
Right.
then, as like a subscriber, it's like, that's the beauty is like, figure out in your own head whatever signal they give you or lack of signal, you figure out how to feel like you're getting value for your money by just like sending it to them. Uh,
Yeah.
but then yeah, if you could like make the language of the Patreon match that, produce like some stuff and make updates. Because I get served like this guy Amos or something. He's like 18 months ago he became an indie dev and he does like monthly like very transparent uh vlogs where he's just like talking to the camera about his monthly budget, how much money he has like banked, how his games are doing, how he's feeling. He talks about burnout and stuff.
Mm,
Uh,
that's cool.
and that's yeah, it's almost like I would maybe subscribe to that guy's feed and Patreon and stuff just to like hear like it's almost like he's sort of I guess the product is like I'm watching his life. Like he's living a life that I think I would want, like an indie game dev life, and he's tracking like the profitability of it and or the lack of profitability and addressing like very transparently addressing his burnout and stuff. And then it's like, yeah, I just want to see what happens to that guy. I don't care. Like, I don't care if he makes a game where I play his game or whatever. Maybe I'll buy his next game just to like support him and then
Yeah.
not even, yeah, I just want to like watch the process almost.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like reminds me of like concept of gift economies. Um, which like yeah, I don't know. I think there's like a this meditation. It's like called East Bay Meditation Center in Oakland. It's just like yeah, meditation center that I like, but don't go to that often anymore. But probably should. But they had some materials on like, and their whole thing is sort of uh, gift economy, like idea of like you sort of give what you can freely and like with no sort of expectation, and like we also provide this service, and you can pay nothing if
Hmm.
that's what you know we're not going to turn anybody away type of thing. And it's like I think it's really cool and like a good model. Like I don't know, mutual aid is like another term that gets like thrown around a lot. I think there's like yeah, it just like has a ton of value, and it's just like, but I do think it's like so like outside of there's like current modes of thinking and like operating, that it's like it's just like so difficult to do anything like that at scale, at least at the moment. I
Hmm.
feel like I don't know, it's like if there were yeah, like if East Bay Meditation Center was like 10 times the size it was, like I don't know if they could do that and like still
Hmm.
be able to pay their rent or whatever. Like I I think yeah, I think it's just like really hard to scale, but I do think it is like I don't know, a model worth practicing, just sort of like sharing resources.
Yeah, it's fascinating too. Yeah, because like it's like a thing that like like capitalism tries to scale, but things that are not money oriented, like it's like how yeah. like they're into like not measuring stuff almost, and then so then they scaling might be like counter to their aims or something like that almost somehow.
Yeah, yeah. That might be, yeah. That
That's
might
kind of
be
interesting actually that yeah, like the business reaches some point of sustainability and then by the principle of itself it's like why go beyond, like just remain sustainable uh and
right.
like the appropriate size. Yeah, it's like it can't yeah, it
Yeah.
like the
I like
wouldn't make sense. Yeah.
min-max
Yeah.
in our shared
Yeah,
uh,
min-max is yeah,
emotion.
sometimes it's interesting like when like I see like Ben Hansen talking about the numbers and growing and stuff. And I guess it's like a business always has churn. So I guess you always have to be growing to remain like the same number of people because people are leaving. Uh, but it's interesting. Like if MinMax ever did make like very viral content and bring in a lot of people, I feel like there's no way the community would remain like the same with its same values. It sort
Right.
of needs to be yeah, it's like it serves its purpose like perfectly at a certain size, and hopefully it finds a way to like stay there because yeah, I think it's not possible to like rope in like a million people and have them just like people at some yeah, it's like at some scale it people just differ and like they
Yeah.
don't it doesn't yeah, it can't feel like a small community if it's not a small community or something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think,
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like, yeah, min-max is a good model of like, just like, it's like the size where you like make some amount of stuff, but it's not like an overwhelming amount of stuff. And like it
Mhm.
seems to sustain the people who work there at least like enough. And yeah, the community's just kind of like the right size where it feels like yeah, there is like some sense of community, like or like names are like familiar at least. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting sort of case study. I feel um, of a community.
Mhm.
Probably very difficult to replicate. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's also like an interest based
Mhm.
community, which is like uh, yeah, can be different than yeah, like a locale based um,
Mhm.
or yeah, other things that
Yeah, I'm
probably
seeing I guess I'm starting to see more and more examples of like min-max sized stuff. Like 404 Media is a good one in like the non-game space. Like they're like five journalists who own their own outlet, 404
Mhm.
Media, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like they're like breaking stories and stuff. Like they are like driving reporting by like coming up with new stories and like investigating and following stuff. And it's kind of
Yeah,
impressive how and then they have a good podcast and like they're funded by the audience, and so that's
that's
kind of yeah
cool.
it's
Yeah, that's got to be
yeah
so hard. Like, it's like if they just get sued once, like that is like existential risk. But,
yeah I
yeah,
wonder, I think they have some kind of knowledge, they have at least a lawyer they consult that I think
mm,
yeah I think they're sort of yeah it is interesting, like I think they're pretty familiar with what would get them in trouble if they reported on, and maybe they can retract stuff. And yeah it's interesting though, yeah like maybe that's yeah, I mean, I used to listen to like a science skepticism podcast that had gotten sued at one point, and they had to like run like a separate fundraiser to pay the legal fee, and then they took the overage and like used it as like a chest for future lawsuits or something.
uh, yeah, that's tough. Tough thing to consider. Yeah.
Yeah, these are interesting thoughts though. Uh, I always feel like these kind of things we're talking about are like the fuel for games. Like somehow, if we meditate on this stuff, we can put it into games, and and the games will have something of substance
Uh-huh.
if these are the driving principles.
Yeah, like how to structure communities. Yeah, big questions.
That's a good theme for like a game jam, is like big but not too big, or like not too small, not too big, sustainable, like that as like a theme, and then a bunch of games that explore, because games often are like numbers go up, but few games are like numbers go up to a certain point, and then very clearly you have to fight to like not go higher, and like there's an optimal point in the middle
Yeah,
that's like clearly sustainable, and then you fail, like once you get to the sustainable point you fail if you go in either direction, and it's about like
yeah,
staying the course. Yeah.
yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it just reminded me of like the game I want to build at some point, the Vampire Survivor parody thing. It's like, what if you could win, but like you just have to like not get like too powerful, or else it starts to spiral out of control. And Katamari style, you like
Mm.
uh, destroy the world. Maybe there's
Yeah,
something
so
there.
at some point, yeah, you have to like, yeah, like like you're collecting power ups, and if you get too powerful, it's just like nonsense, or the character's too fast, you like run off a cliff too easily or something. And so there'd be some point where like you have to start not collecting like the power ups that you've been collecting so far. You have to not collect them to
Yeah,
maintain a level of power that's like manageable. Yeah.
yeah, or like share them, or, yeah, with other entities. Yeah,
That would be
something there.
cool then. Like once you get to that sustainable point, it starts to like prompt you with different like philosophical things, or like somehow the game like starts
Yeah,
asking you like what's the, it starts questioning you like what's the goal, like why not end it, why not, you know
yeah. Do you really
why, yeah.
need this next
Yeah.
power up? Like what you were surviving just fine. Yeah, yeah, I like that.
Because yeah, like it sort of seems like there's no end, right? Like you get to that sustainable point, and if you balance it right, it just goes forever. And but that is what a business is. Like businesses are, they don't want to grow too large or get too small. They want to weather some storms and just continue to go forever, like be sustainable and pass it on. But yeah, there isn't like there's no grand like conclusion or something built in there. We'd have to figure out how do you give the player like a sense of finality, or you just
Hmm.
they have to deal with like the never endingness or something.
Yeah, like oh, maybe like you can derive meaning from uh, like helping others survive and be free, and then you die, and it's
Oh
like
yeah.
a life well lived. Something like
Yeah,
that.
you could gift your stats if you like
Yeah.
willingly give up. Yeah, you can gift your stats to like some other player. Yeah, and then when you launch the game, you may just get like enough stats to be. But then yeah, if you're gifted like a bunch of stats, you don't have the experience of building up to the sustainability, so you don't really appreciate the sustainability. So it's almost like the gift from another player that learned about the sustainability inhibits you from learning that yourself, and
Mm,
then you almost like can't, like you get robbed of the lesson of the game if you start from non-zero. And then once you get the lesson, then it's like, well, the whole point is like, now I can gift something, but can I,
right.
like, the gift is like the ability to start from zero and build yourself up and have that like work. Yeah, so then it's like a,
Yeah. Or maybe
that's
there's,
an
yeah, like
interesting, yeah.
some other entities or creatures that are struggling in some way, and
Mm.
you just like sort of give them enough to. It's like the, I don't know,
Saving
the
the animals.
some quote of like the point of freedom is to free others, like that. That's like the driving quote for this whole. Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting.
it's like, oh, that's the secret thing of the game. Like if you, yeah, figure out that that's kind of what you're meant to do, or yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's interesting, like that art can't be too on the nose. Like to make
Yeah.
that, you have to like make it, yeah, certain. You gotta like tie it to min max somehow. Like I guess, I mean, the game could represent like min max almost in like an unspoken way, because that's what gave us the idea was like the sustainability and size of min max is like
Mm.
inspires this game. And but then yeah, how do you like link the two without with making keep the player like feel smart, like they
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
let people sort of like pick up on
Mhm.
themes through more like, I don't know, diegetically or whatever, like through gameplay or environment, rather than just being like this is what the game is about. Yeah.
Yeah, well, good conversation.
Yeah, good talk. Oh yeah, past 7.
Yeah, I told
Yeah.
another one of my friends that I record these podcasts. Like I was talking to someone today, and
Yeah.
I was throwing, like I was just like, they were letting me talk a lot, so I was like throwing out all these ideas that I have about stuff, and they said they wanted to hear me talk more, and they said like you should have a podcast, and I was like I kind of do like have these podcasts. Uh, so now I sent them like last week's episode, and I think it's kind of funny that
Oh, nice.
if people want to hear me just like talk, then they can. Uh, and this
Yeah.
person that I was talking to, they actually said they wanted to make a rhythm game at some point. So I told them about how like you had made a rhythm game in the last
Oh
jam.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorta. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
cool. Very cool. They're like a also a game developer or aspiring game developer.
Just like a coworker. I don't know exactly what their discipline is at Google, but yeah, they mentioned that, and I don't know what experience game dev they have, but they said they're trying to make a game. They want it to be a rhythm game.
Sweet.
Yeah. But then also for me, at some point, uh, my idea for making like like I wanted to do my hip hop raps in the next Minhacks jam, and now my idea is, you know, that bonus pod where they jump into the frozen lake, that one.
Uh-huh.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because when they go under the water, they say Leo jokes that he saw like the true reality when he goes underwater, and I think that concept of like seeing the true reality going under the water, and like maybe in the game when you go under the water, that's when the rap like starts, and the rap will be talking. The rap will sort of cover that episode, like the concept of jumping in taking the plunge and uncovering the real reality, the one they don't want you to see, like they want you to stay asleep, and then also maybe cover other things. But I feel like there's something, I don't know if I'll try to link the rhythm and the music to the game, so then I'll have to technically try to do that or something. Uh, but yeah, and then if
Nice.
that sort of fails, I'll work it in. I'll just like work in the music some other way.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's a
that's my
good idea.
concept still. So yeah, I'll probably end up trying to do some kind of rhythm adjacent game.
That's fun. Yeah, you got a real knack for the lyricism. I like the Astroneer. Um,
Yeah.
Astroneer
I
video.
just feel like it just appealed to me. Like I think that joke is very funny about like seeing the true reality, and they tell you not to put your head under because they want you to stay asleep. And I just felt like that's the perfect, like if you just rhyme that a couple times, and then whenever you go underwater you like pick up the beat like way more intense. Uh and then
Yeah.
you could be like, you know, like just work in some kind of narrative there where like either the player, like you'd sort of have the beat starting to swell and then you plunge in the water, and like it would just go crazy with like the be like
Yeah.
way more aggressive. I feel like that would be, if I can. Yeah, I'm not confident that like, you know, especially I want to make it web, so then you were saying that that breaks like the API a little bit, so I'll have to figure out some like stable way to just be very sure that like I can get some timed scenarios. Like maybe the player falls off a cliff and I trigger an event, and then by the time they like hit the water, that's when I know the song will, like they don't, so the player doesn't have control over when they go under. It's just like
Uh-huh.
more given. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a very specific. It was just like, yeah, to know like sort of exact timings. Yeah, maybe they fixed it even at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun. Fun. Yeah. Well, hopefully
Yeah.
I've actually begun working on my game again. So Maybe I'll have a good update for us next time. That'll be a good
Yeah, that'll
goal.
be good. Yeah, we can take a look at it again either way. Yeah, and talk
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'll see you then.
Yeah, see ya. We're talking.
Bye.